What is up? How is everyone doing this weekend? Welcome to another credit card news live stream. I just want to give a shout out to a few people. First up, Danny, of course. Thank you for the super chat, brother. You said your boy is ready for that T-Mobile credit card. We're going to talk about that tonight for sure. I know you've been talking about that you've been mentioning that for months now about I know you have cell phone service with T-Mobile, and I know you have the Apple card. So Goldman Sachs is going to offer that for T-Mobile, that same kind of deal for them as well. Samir, how you doing? Poppy Rizzy. Cinemanis said he couldn't make it tonight, but listen, I still recognize you being here. Raul, how you doing? How you doing, Raul? Jorge, thank you for the congratulations, man. Yeah, almost there to 20,000 subs. Got to celebrate that when it comes. Johnny Jimenez, how you doing? Bobby Miller. The plumber, he's in the building. So let's get started here. So first story is America's dependence on credit cards is growing. The Fed's rate hike will make it more painful. So as prices continue to rise, Americans are becoming increasingly reliant on credit cards to make purchases. And now with the Federal Reserve's latest 3/4 percentage point hike, many of them will be paying more of the debt they've been accumulating, a little over 18%. And that's the average percentage rate or APR that they're paying. The average annual percentage rate on new credit cards is within a percentage point of its all-time high of 19% set in 1991. TransUnion found that there are more credit cards today, and there is more debt on those cards. TransUnion said 161 million people in the US, roughly half of the total population, had access to a credit card in the second quarter, a jump from 153 million a year earlier. In that same time frame, the average debt per borrower rose from 4,800 to 5,200. So the average credit card debt per borrower has risen almost 10% in the past year. And so listen, this is probably going to be the fault of inflation, and also the last remnants, or the remaining remnants of the pandemic. People just felt like they could spend as much as they wanted to, and it's gonna be a tough time. But I always said that I'm always surprised at the numbers that you see come out about credit card, the amount of people that are using credit cards, because people are so hush hush, and they really don't like to talk about where their money comes from, how much they make, and very, very closed off. And we're not like that in this community. We talk about what credit cards we're applying for. We talk about what our credit scores are. We talk about our credit limits and our aspirational goals as far as cards go, and our lineups that we want. So that's completely different than the mainstream. But it's always just interesting to see how many cards are out there, and virtually everybody has a credit card of some sort, and a couple of them at that. So next story, some consumers using credit card rewards to pay for essentials amid high inflation. So this kind of piggybacks off the last story, right? They're using their cards for essential items now. Now it's things that they couldn't live without. Toilet paper, going to the grocery store for average stuff, and they're not obviously paying that. There's the statement balance. They're racking up that balance on their credit card, and they're not paying it off. They're letting it carry over. So Americans are leaning into credit card rewards to help offset the rising costs of everyday purchases amid inflation concerns. A Wells Fargo study found that 92% of Americans are worried about rising inflation, and nearly half of rewards cardholders have used their earned benefits to help offset the price of some everyday expenses. I hope so. I hope you are using your benefits. I know a lot of you, we talk about this over the course of this whole year, how many of us are using our points, are pooling them together, and maybe using them for a yearly large purchase or vacation. But I'm a big proponent of using your rewards on a monthly basis or a bi-monthly basis, just because you never know how those rewards plans and how those programs are going to change. And what in the past, your rewards points would roll off, and they would have an expiration date. Many cards don't really have that today, but they could change their plans at any time. So I like to go get those rewards points in, and send them out. Do work for me. So almost 3/4, which is 71% of Americans, said they have rewards cards, and 45% of rewards card holders said their credit card usage increased during the pandemic. What's more, 2/3 of rewards card holders, which is 65%, said they care about credit card rewards now more than ever. So people are rewards minded, but they don't understand. Most people don't understand that to actually gain value from those rewards, you can't pay interest. You can't carry a balance. And I know everybody here understands that. Oh, the plumber, what's up, man? So you said the plumber said he cashed in $400 just this month. That's nice. Was that from an assortment of cards? Was that from like a cumulative amount from, you know, different cards, or was that from one? I'm curious. And which card was it from if it was one? Let us know. EHJ, thank you for the super chat, man. EHJ23, shout out. Thank you, sir. Thank you. EHJ said, happy Sunday, fam. Hope all is well and blessed. I hope the same as you're blessed as well. So let's get back to the stories here. We have next up, GOP attorneys general call on credit card companies to drop plans for gun store code. So 24 Republican attorneys general are urging Visa and Mastercard and American Express to drop their plans to adopt a new merchant category code for gun retailers, saying the move would infringe on consumers' privacy. In a letter sent to the companies Tuesday, the attorney general warned that credit card companies that they could face legal action if they move forward with the code adopted by the International Organization for Standardization. So, you know, it's interesting. I actually polled you guys, or at least I asked you guys last week if you were concerned about this new merchant category code specifically for gun purchases, and it was pretty overwhelming. Most people thought that it was a non-issue. Even the gun owners amongst my audience said they didn't care. They don't have anything to hide. And I was a little surprised at that. I thought there was going to be a couple of people that said it infringes on their rights, and they were really concerned about putting on like a no-fly list or getting, you know, a knock on the front door one day. But you know, one of my coworkers, actually, I'm in New York, but believe it or not, out where, you know, if you go out into like Long Island area, the gun laws are actually more relaxed. So a lot of my coworkers actually have guns, and one of my close coworkers, he shoots for sport, and he's been shooting for years. It's very like dear to him, you know, to his like every weekly routine, and he has a bunch of guns. And he said that this was going to affect him because he, at different points in time throughout the year, he'll buy a lot of bullets in bulk, or he might have, you know, 2 gun purchases back to back. And so he's concerned that in his situation, if he buys like 1,000 rounds, which he's not going to shoot, he's going to shoot 1,000 rounds over the course of a year, then he doesn't want to be singled out and kind of scrutinized and you know, vilified just for doing that, for shooting for sport. And he's responsible with his firearms. So he just raised that issue to me. So it's definitely have to consider that. Now, I do want to say that I know merchant category codes are not familiar. People are not familiar in like the general population with that concept. Like almost every other type of merchant has a category code assigned to it. And we as credit card users, avid enthusiasts, we like to use those specific merchants to get extra points. Like I know a lot of you may have the Chase Freedom Flex card, or you may have the Discover It card. And maybe even the Citi Custom Cash card, which I love. I got 2 of them. You're going to have to pay close attention to what merchant category code a merchant that you like to frequent has applied to it, so that you can earn those bonus rates. So we're very familiar with that, but the general population might not be. So it's like, wait a second, we're introducing a whole new system just to track gun owners? No, that's not the case. So next story we have here. Can the Visa Mastercard duopoly be broken? So duopoly just means two. If you take that prefix, duo means two. Duopoly, there are only 2 big companies grabbing the lion's share of the market. America is home to the heftiest interchange fees of any major economy. Costs are in an order of magnitude greater than in Europe and China. That largely benefits two firms, Visa and Mastercard, which facilitate more than 3/4 of the country's credit card transactions. I didn't know it was that much. That's pretty staggering. Doing so has made them two of the most profitable companies in the world. Wow, they're even higher than Apple. You know, I got to dig at Apple at some point during the stream. So they're the most profitable, one of the most profitable companies in the world, with net margins last year of 51% and 46% respectively. Now, I didn't even know that those stats. That's amazing. Rank every firm, excluding real estate investment trusts, in the S&P 500 index by their average net profit margins last year, 5 years ago, and a decade ago, and the only four appear in the top 20 every time. Two are financial information firms, Intercontinental Exchange, and the CME Group. The others are Mastercard and Visa. Well, look at that. Look at that. They have a stranglehold on processing transactions, payment processing. And they have some really good margins there. So I guess they're going to use this data saying that, listen, you don't need to charge fees that high. And so they're drawing kind of the eye of the government, they want to step in and kind of regulate that more heavily. You think that should be, that the government should step in and try to make them lower their fees? Because you know it's going to be a trickle down effect. Once the Mastercard and Visa have to pay more, or they can't earn more from fees, they're going to pass that lack of earnings onto the banks in their terms, and then we're going to have less cards with less favorable benefits. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. So next up, we have Citigroup joins industry effort to lend to people without credit scores. Now, I gotta say, I've been seeing this a lot lately with a lot of fintechs have kind of entered the market, trying to offer that's been their value proposition, is offering credit to the creditless, or kind of accessing more of the market to that the traditional banks don't have access to, because they can only go off of a credit score, which many people don't have a credit score. So Citigroup is joining a government-sponsored effort to expand access to credit in underserved communities. The bank is launching 2 pilot programs early next year under the Office of Comptroller of the Currencies Project, REACH, our Roundtable for Economic Access and Change. One program will issue credit cards to people without credit scores, while the other will make it easier for small businesses owned by minorities, women, and veterans to get credit. Now, I like the latter portion of that. I think that if you're a small business owner and you need a loan, you need working capital for your business, and are you trying to open a business, or maybe you need a new fryer, you got a fast food franchise, or you have, a store, a bodega, what have you. I think that the government might have a hand in making it easier for you to get credit for business purposes. But just to offer credit cards to people that are less fortunate, I don't think that's a good route to take. I don't think that's absolutely necessary, because having credit, available credit, it's a responsibility. And if you have a $10,000 credit card and you don't know anything about using that, and all you know is that you have $10,000 available to you, you're going to spend it all. And there's so many stories about that online, about somebody's first credit card and how they just maxed it out immediately within hours of getting the card. So next, we have number of buy now, pay later users projected to surge by 2027. The number of buy now, pay later users will surpass 900 million globally by 2027, increasing from 360 million in 2022. According to a new study from Juniper Research, this substantial growth of 157% will be driven by the anticipated economic downturn, which will increase the demand for low-cost credit solutions. The company said the report noted that BNPL services do not require hard credit checks, and an increasing number of merchants are accepting this payment method, making it easier to access for consumers than traditional credit. That's a really good point. And actually, I saw a breakdown of their business model from a really good video. And one of the big takeaways is that buy now, pay later companies kind of see themselves as offering credit to people for like grocery purchases, or like every day, just $50, $100 here or there. They'll offer you a payment plan for it. And so that in the past, nobody would ever establish credit. Like they would never use credit to buy $100 worth of groceries with, but now they're offering that. So yeah, you can see why it's going to grow, because there's increased access to credit there. And since you don't need a credit check, that means anybody with bad or poor credit or no credit is going to be available to them. And that's a lot of people these days. So next story, a Goldman Sachs backed T-Mobile credit card is coming. So Danny, this is for you. You have T-Mobile. There is a Goldman Sachs backed card coming down the line. So the second largest wireless carrier in the United States is planning to launch its own credit card. Although nothing has been announced yet, reports from Bloomberg indicate that Goldman Sachs and T-Mobile have reached a partnership agreement. This will be Goldman Sachs' third credit card. It's also the card issuer of the popular Apple Card and my GM Rewards card for T-Mobile. I think, Danny, I think you also have a GM Rewards card, if I'm not mistaken. It gets like 4% back with certain purchases. For T-Mobile, it's an opportunity to join the credit card world like rival Verizon did a few years ago. Now listen, I have the Verizon card. It's called the Verizon Visa card. It's issued by Synchrony Bank. I know a lot of you don't like that. Synchrony does have some kind of shady practices. They will cancel your accounts if they deem you unprofitable, or if you haven't used the card. Who knows what they do on the back end, but they're known for canceling accounts with like little to no warning. And they'll just do it across, like they'll just unilaterally cancel accounts associated with you. So they might cancel 1 to 5 accounts on you. I think this is interesting. It's showing that Goldman Sachs is going for this type of deal. They have experience with Apple Card and GM, so they're establishing their bank as a co-branded card bank. They want to offer more co-branded cards in partnerships with large companies than offering more cards in their own lineup. And so at this point, I would be expecting who's another large carrier? Any other large carrier you can think of, they're probably going to be looking to partner with them as well to offer a card. So next we have TD Bank, the Target credit card partnership to continue through 2030. So, and listen, I got to say, and one of my coworkers was actually telling me about this. He was raving about the Target card because, it gives you an automatic 5% back. And here's the difference with the Target credit card and debit card is I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's like a discount card. So basically it'll give you 5% off of the purchase itself. So you don't have to wait to earn any sort of rewards or points later on down the line after your statement closes. You just get 5% off the purchase right at the cash register, right at the point of sale, which is nice. There's a few store cards that operate like that. I know my B&H photo card operates like that as well. Target's Red Card offerings will continue to be developed by the same team as TD Bank and Target have extended their credit card partnership, which began in 2013, and they're going to extend that through 2030. With the contract extension, TD Bank will continue to be the exclusive issuer of Target co-branded and private label credit cards for consumers. In one of their most recent product innovations, Target and TD Bank expanded the Red Card Mastercard program and enabled cardholders to earn 2% instant savings on eligible dining and gas purchases and 1% back everywhere else, in addition to 5% at Target. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So I thought, as I was reading it, I thought they were offering a 2% flat rate card, but that would be too good. That'd be like that would rival other 2% cards. I know it couldn't do that. So they're offering 2% on a select category, which is dining and gas. Beyond the savings, the partnership enables Target to offer its customers other benefits like free shipping from Target.com and most other items, extended return times, and exclusive offers. Does anybody have the Target card? Do you frequent Target? I actually went to Target yesterday, and it was like a super center. I don't think I've been to one of the. I'm used to Target being like a average size store, but this one was like a super center, like Walmart was. And they had the thing. It was like this ornate kind of, I don't even, this super modern contemporary facade with like wood, and you can tell they were probably marketing it as a green facility, and it was just like, it was really nice construction. And that's kind of rare for my area, because in New York everything is pretty old. Like, you just get used to super old buildings, but this one was nice and new. So Citigroup joins industry effort to lend to people. Oh, that's the same story. Sorry about that. All right, so guys, I was on the fence about even including this, but I figured, what the hey. Kim Kardashian's credit card earrings cause a stir. Kim Kardashian is no stranger to racking up high bills at Balenciaga, if I pronounced that right. Her favorite fashion brand, and might have poked fun at the fact that her choice of accessories Tuesday, stepping out in New York City to promote season 2 of her show, Good Morning America. The reality star rocked a pair of sold out credit card earrings. Credit card earring. I just thought, so apparently this is fashion. They offered this back in 2020, but she just pulled them out the closet. What do you guys think about credit card earrings? Now, I think some of my credit cards look really nice, especially the metal cards. Definitely like pulling that out, the wallet, and it's a good looking card, like the Capital One Venture X card. I know I like the look of the Amex Gold card. There's a few other cards I like the Verizon Visa card. It's like a matte black metal card. It's cool too. But would you wear a card? That's different. That's different right there. Yo. Plumber said that's silly. Yeah, it is silly. F. David said, what? Credit card earrings? That's crazy. Yeah, Danny, thank you, man. If you guys, please hit the like button. If you're in the stream right now, hit that like button. It's got that new design to it. It's like fireworks going off. You got to see that. Fireworks are going off when you hit that like button. Try it. Cheryl, what's up? It's good to have you back in the chat. You said to each his own. I'll stay away from those earrings. Those earrings have to cost like what? They have to be a few $1,000s, right? They got to be. At least. All right, so next story. Let's move on from that. That's that's a little bit extra. But so what I want to talk about here is someone. Let me enlarge this real quick because I can't even read that, guys. I can't even read that. So this person went through a little trial here when they were at the fair. So my credit card was stolen at the fair. I went to a fair recently and bought some stuff with my card. I made the stupid mistake of putting the card in my pocket. So listen, guys, you can't put a credit card, a single card in your pocket, especially if it's metal. Those things will slip right out. Especially this guy probably had on basketball shorts or something. Those things are sliding. Sometimes they slide up and out. It's just when a credit card is loose, it's gonna find a way out of your pocket. The same one with my phone in it. I ended up you gotta have a wallet. You just have to have one. Listen, take a look. My wallet's on my website. I'm gonna have a link in the description. It ended up falling out when I pulled out my phone, and I was totally oblivious to it. Then I went on a couple of rides and got a call from my friend. When I hung up, I see all these notifications from Amex saying that someone is spending spending money on my card at vendors I have never been to before. I then lock the card, and this is where it gets good. While contemplating where I could have lost said card, I decided to buy a funnel cake. I was waiting in line and got another notification saying that my card was declined at the vendor I was in line for. So he was in line, in the same line where his card that's missing, or that's stolen at this point, is being used. That's wild. I look ahead of me and I see two younger teenagers. The cashier says, "I'm sorry, sir, your card is declined." And this card he was handing back to them looked almost like mine. Before he hands it back to them, I say, "Excuse me, sir, I just lost my card, and that one looks awfully lot like mine." How do you guys think this story ends? How does this end? Let's like, I want to hear some, make some assumptions or take some guesses. What do you think happens next here? Is it a happy ending? Does it get rowdy? Does it get rough? Walter Holloman, sticking with a regular wallet. Coach, by the way. Okay. All right. Designer wallet. I never really thought about those designer wallets. That's interesting. I just have, listen, I got a $15 wallet. Honestly, it's a metal. I should hold it up, but it's downstairs. I got one of those sleeved metal wallets. I've been using that for, about a year and a half now. It's been working good. Working good for me. You pull the trigger, they fan out, they just pop up. Plumber said he gets busted. Joan, what's up? How you doing? You said the guy offers to pay for his funnel cake. Yeah. Let me pay for your funnel cake with that with my stolen credit, with your card. Let me use your money to say I'm sorry. Walter Holloman, said my fiance bought it. Okay. How much do those wallets run? I would, if it's Coach, it's got to be like $100. Like that's got to be the minimum, right? Or is it like $50 to $100? All right, so let me tell you guys how this ends right here. So what happens is he then shows me the card, and it is in fact my card. I show him my ID and get my card back. The kids were speechless at this point. I open up a police report and they want me to talk to the parents soon. 1 5-minute call, the Amex got all of my charges refunded like that. So the moral of the story is don't use a stolen credit card at the place you found it. I will find you. And Amex customer service is the best. So there's a few takeaways here. Lastly, he says Amex customer service is the best. And I know a lot of you, I don't think I've seen anybody say it's not the best. Anytime I've heard about Amex, is like customer service is like second or third on the list of being, one of the features and benefits of being a card holder with them. And they end up being like number one on the surveys every year for like JD Power. They get awarded. So that's no question at all. They have great customer service. Don't use a stolen credit card where you found it. Yeah, definitely. If you find a credit card and you're a thief, I hope there's no thieves in my audience. Nobody's stealing, this here on the stream. But if you steal something, maybe don't show it off where you stole it. That's just like common sense. Maybe save that for later. But I guess, listen, maybe he said, hey, I'm going to use this. They're not going to know. Use it real quick before they lock it up. So he opened up a police report. I wonder what what kind of punishment or what kind of charges can be brought against these teenagers. I really don't see that much being done to them, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Has anybody here ever had their credit card stolen? I'm actually that sounds like a good poll question. I'm gonna ask you guys. Sorry about that. I was too quick to make that poll. Let me know how if you ever had your credit card stolen. Just vote in the poll. Let's see. And while you're voting, hey, hit that like button. It's in the same area, same region. Hit that like button for me. So Richard, what's up? How you doing? You said you've had. Oh, you're saying that they're gonna charge those boys with petty theft. I shouldn't assume their gender. They're gonna charge those teenagers with petty theft, and so that's a misdemeanor. I wonder if they'll get like community service or something. Albert Castro, how you doing, man? I'm doing good. How does the T-Mobile credit card work? Just came on now to watch. So the T-Mobile card is just, it's just a rumor right now. So there's basically, it's been leaked that there's a card in the works and they reached an agreement. There hasn't been any details on the terms or the card benefits yet. Cheryl says she's never had a card stolen. That's good, Cheryl. Oh, wow. I'm seeing quite a few people. 16 votes are in, and they're saying that 45% said they have had a credit card stolen. That's even larger amount than I was guessing. So ESJ said never had a car stolen, but I've lost one before. All right. I don't even think, now that I think about it, I don't even think I've lost a card before. I can't recall. I have a bunch of cards. I have to say, I have some canceled cards and some, one canceled due to inactivity. I have one canceled. It expired. One that I canceled on my own. I keep them all in this binder here. All in this binder. And I should really like destroy some of these extra cards that I'm not using. Jones said, had my debit card number stolen. Funds were frozen for over a week. Hence it's best to use a credit card. That's a really good point. Oh! Really good point, Joan. A lot of people don't really think about that, but you can, with a credit card, there's 2 layers of protection, because one, it's not directly attached to your bank account. So there, you still get that 23-day grace period. In addition to that, credit card companies seem to be quicker and kind of more liberal with releasing those funds and just eliminating those charges. And depending on the bank you're dealing with, if it's a small bank, it could take days or weeks to get that processed. So that is a really good point. Gustavo said, I've had a couple cars stolen over the years, and I'm pretty sure they've always been skimmed by paying at the pump at gas stations. Wow. I feel like that's a nightmare kind of scenario that you always see on like short videos, or, I remember like 48 hours or Dateline. They would talk about watch out for the gas station pumps, and they would show somebody like installing that that facade or that first layer, that basically a molded credit card reader that sits on top. And that's something that I've always been aware of, but I've never seen it out in the wild. Bruce says your wife and kids taking your card doesn't count. Yeah, I gotta say that that probably happens a lot, right? Like, oh, somebody I see some charges on my card that I didn't authorize that, but you got, you set your wallet down in the house and you got 5 other people living with you. And sometimes that can happen. Val Stu said, that's why I only use a credit card at the pump, since I had my debit card skimmed years ago. Okay. Yeah, speaking on the gas pump, I spoke about this throughout this year, that I've been just using a debit card at the gas station. Guess what? Now I'm not. I'm using a credit card because I'm going to a different gas station that charges the same price for credit and debit card purchases. So now there's no reason not to use the credit card. I can get the same, same amount back, and they actually charge less for gas too. So I guess for me, I'm in the New York area and gas is already extremely high. But I think the important part was getting off of the main road, and going a little bit further to a gas station offering more competitive rates. Johnny Jimenez says, my credit card number was stolen when my wife and I were on vacation in Los Angeles. It happened when I handed my credit card to the waiter to pay for our dinner we just had at a restaurant in LA. Hey, listen, Danny's talking about your city, Danny. Is it rough in LA? That's a shame when you can't trust your waiter. You probably gave him a tip. Didn't you? So now you feel like, dang, I actually tipped you well and you betrayed me. Stole my credit card number. Terrible stuff, man. Albert Castro said, Capital One froze my card, and I also told them when it happened, I was going on vacation, crazy, and it was for a cup of coffee, like $4.75. Wow, for a super small purchase, got his card information stolen. I want to say this. I've noticed that, I use the SoFi credit card for a lot of purchases, and I've noticed that that card and some other cards, they have some really tight fraud protection. So I've noticed that when I make a purchase, every now and then, maybe once, twice a month, it'll decline a purchase, maybe at a gas pump, and I'll have to text back, yes, it's me, before they'll let me continue with the purchase. And I've noticed that credit card companies are kind of wising up and getting better with their algorithms to kind of defend against fraudulent purchases. And that was the same thing for the story that I told you about the guy with the Amex card. It just immediately declined purchases. So they're getting better at that. Danny said, I stopped using my debit card for purchases 3 years ago. I'm all in on credit cards all the time. Listen, Danny, I'm with you. I think the only place there's really no place I'm using debit cards now, because I'm using credit cards for my utility payments. That's a US Bank Cash Plus card. I'm using credit cards for gas now. That's going to be the Wells Fargo Autograph card or the Verizon Visa card whenever I have it on me. I might just leave it in my center console. Yeah, I'm with you. Credit cards all the way. I'm trying to consolidate my lineup, because I'm not trying to use 10 cards all the time. I'm kind of wanting to lean on 5 or 6 cards to do most of my purchases. Johnny Jimenez said, I did give them a 20% tip. So they got the 20% tip, and then they got your card data. So they're like, listen, I don't want 20% of this small. It was probably a nice dinner too, right? So I don't want 20% on $100. I want $2,000. I want $20,000. So they try to take you for everything. That's wild. EHJ says, I'm torn on what card to go after next. The Blue Cash Everyday card, since I never been with Amex before, the Citi Custom Cash, since I already have the Double Cash with them, or Chase Unlimited, or Discover. Wow, that's a lot of options there, EHJ. Well, first it's got to depend on your spending habits. Where are you going to get the most value? Yeah, and then what kind of strategy do you want to deploy? Because if you want to maximize every purchase and you want more cards, then that's going to be a little bit different than if you want one card to kind of pull more weight. If you already have a 2% card, let me just say this. If you don't have a 2% flat rate card, I think you got to go with the Citi Double Cash card. If you already do have a 2% card in your wallet, then I would go for the Citi Custom Cash card. I feel like Citi Custom Cash is just something you have to have, because it's it's basically a give me. It's a give me every month, 25 bucks, because I think just about all of us can find a category that they make purchases in, like gas or groceries, where you can spend 500 bucks a month, and that's guaranteed every month. You don't have to like mess around with activating categories. You don't have to, um, you know, adjust your spending from season to season. So it's really kind of consistent in that respect. Other than that, after the City Custom Cash, it's a toss up. You know, I like the Blue Cash every day. I know to a lot of people would probably like to establish a relationship with Amex. A lot of people love Amex, but listen, Discover's great too. So, yeah, that's tough. I have to revisit that. Conrad Vlogs. Conrad, are you? I believe I've seen you here before. Are you currently creating videos? Please tell me you are. When's the last time you came out with a video? You said, I got approved for a $30,000 business credit card, and the day I got it, I went to Walmart and they got my credit card number stolen, and the person spent $15,000 online. Whoa, that's terrible. Do I have something for that? I got to get my sound effects together, guys. But that's tough, man. 15K, half of a $30,000 line. Now, were you able to recoup those funds? Like, were you able to deem that a fraudulent transaction? I hope so. Walter Hallman said, I only use debit card to get cash from my barber usually. Listen, I understand that. Cash is gonna be, some of them even take, they might even transact through the app, or some of them even take, what do you call it? Zelle, or, Cash App, things like that. Yeah, someone even said on the forums that is that still a thing? Like somebody asked, is that still a thing? I always tell my coworker cash is trash. I think the older the older the person you're talking to, the more they're gonna kind of be into using cash, and the younger it's gonna skew towards, either digital transactions or credit cards. That's what I've noticed to be the case. Jones said, I got my whole family RFID blocking card protectors because people can steal your info wirelessly. Going to use my wallet until it falls apart. Then I'll buy an RFID wallet. Okay. And then do you use the digital wallet, like the digital wallets, like the Apple Wallet and Android Pay, things like that? I think those offer maybe another layer of protection. All right, DJ Bruce Wayne said, I want my, I gotta see some other, wow, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to some other people, but DJ Bruce Wayne, you said, can I have your opinion on the Apple Card? Everyone I know has it except for me. I don't see the value of it. Well, I think it depends on the cards that you already have in your lineup. If you have if you already have a 2% card and you don't make a ton of purchases with Apple, and they only offer 3% back for Apple purchases anyway. So if you buy them for example, through Amazon, you buy Apple products, you're going to get 5% back with a store card or a Chase card. So I think the Apple Card is really good as an entry-level card. I think at that point, it's a no-brainer. If you have a 600 score, or maybe you have one other card that's not a flat rate 2%, I think it's a great card. But that's why I focus in on what your level is and where you're at in your journey. Because if you already have that covered, then yeah, it's not necessary. It doesn't offer anything far and beyond, what many other cards can do. So for what it is, which is a person who can get this card with a 600 score, it's great. That's what I think. DJ Bruce Wayne says, so what is the best card for the fourth quarter? FYI, Chase Freedom cards offer in soon. It might be, I think it might be the Discover It card, because I think you earning 5% back on digital wallets and one major retailer. Is it Walmart or Amazon? One of those two. I think it might be Discover It card. Rins. So he said, hi Cal, I'm just new in the credit card system, like 18 months now, and I have 9 credit cards with 9% utilization. Is it bad to have a lot of credit cards for my credit score? No, listen, more credit cards most of the time just improve your score. You know, I have over 25 cards. You know, I have, good, very good credit. Usually hovers between 750 and 800. The amount of cards doesn't matter. Usually, I think the data points show that the more cards you have, the more offers you get for more cards. Like, I have no problem getting approved for those. What's really important is your utilization rate. You want it to be under 10%. You know, ideally it's going to be between 1 and 9% to get your best FICO score. And then I told you in one of my recent videos, if you look at the FICO score high achievers, this is their terminology. But the FICO company itself, they say that high achievers have on average 6 bank issued credit cards. And they also say high achievers have a 7% utilization rate. So that's what I'm looking for. So listen, 9% is very close to 7%. So you're doing great there. 6 cards is just the average. You know, a lot of people they're not avid like credit card enthusiasts like we are. But I've noticed that the more cards I get, my credit score is just fine. It remains the same. Jones said, I haven't started using the digital wallet yet. Probably should though. You know, I've gotten some use out of it, especially at the grocery store. It's really nice to have just access to all your cards and that you can just swipe between them. So basically, I think they max out. Somebody was saying that they raised the maximum limit in the Apple Wallet from like 10 to like 20 or something. So they basically they raised it recently. So you can just think about, you can carry pretty much your whole credit card lineup all with you all the time, you know? And so, and it doesn't take up any space. So that's the cool thing about that. Danny Boy said he just got an email from Credit Karma and they said, I'm currently using 1% of my overall credit and I have like a total of $160,000 available. Wow. Yeesh. I think me and Danny are like neck and neck. As soon as I get a new card, he gets a new card. I get one card, Danny gets like 2 or 3 cards and he just blows by me. I can't compete with you. Yeah, Credit Karma. Interesting. Credit Karma. Wait, they've been doing dirt. Walter Hallman said, I hover around 1 to 2% utilization. Oh, they're coming in too quick. It's hard to keep up. I obsess about that. Yeah. And listen, you're not alone. A lot of people obsess over their utilization. And that's why it's so important to, you know, raise your available credit to a decent level so that even when you want to make a few more purchases, you don't have to like worry about it on a weekly basis. So let's see where the votes are at. So I got 41 votes. Wow. And I said, have you had your credit card stolen before? 34%. How many people is that? So basically 14, 15 people here say that they've had their credit card stolen. 33%. That's eye-opening right there. Gustavo said, Cal, what's your holy grail card? What is the holy grail card? I think, I haven't looked at a card and said, I really need that. I kind of saw the light. I'm just going to say the Venture X card, which I just got. I think it's a great annual fee card to have. So, I haven't, I'm only like dabbling into annual fee card and travel cards. I think it's the most straightforward and easy to redeem and just, extract that value from. So I'm going to say the Venture X card, which I have, which I guess is not, it's not a fair answer because I already have it, but I can't say anything else right now. F Davis, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out F Davis. You said another good stream as always. All right. I don't want to forget anything here. Let me make sure. Let me go back to the slides here. Make sure I got it all. Okay. I want to let you guys know the Apple Card right now has a $100 sign-up bonus with any purchase. So basically, if you apply for the Apple Card, you'll be able to get, as long as you make a purchase within 7 days, so a week, you'll get that $100 in Apple Cash. So that's a pretty good bonus there. The Apple Card typically does not give sign-up bonuses. They kind of, throughout the year, they will, sporadically offer them. So this is one of their better bonuses that I've seen. Also, you guys, you got to know that we're heading into the fourth quarter. This is a big fourth quarter. And in my opinion, and I've seen some evidence to back this up, the fourth quarter of the year is like the best time to apply for credit cards. It's the easiest time. And I think it's because they know that people are trying to spend a lot of money because the holiday season is coming up, and they just make it really easy. They give the best bonuses. And then it seems like they kind of pull back on how strict they are to approving people. Joan, thank you for the super chat. Joan, appreciate it. Do I have anything else here? Amazing. Appreciate that, Joan. What did you say for me? What did you say? For a small pack of diapers. Yes. Thank you. Remember, yes, I just had a baby, about a month old, 6 weeks old now. Thank you for that. Definitely going to use that for some diapers. Danny, appreciate it, brother. You said donating to your iPhone transition. You want to switch. Listen, I'm feeling the pressure, man. I'm feeling a lot of pressure here to switch to iPhones. I see it all around me. Virtually every woman has an iPhone. But slow and steady, slowly but surely, more of my old friends I'm seeing popping up in the iPhone ecosystem, and they just drank the Kool-Aid. So maybe next year I'll end up with one. Cheryl, listen, Cheryl, Cheryl, thank you. I appreciate you. We love your chats. Cheryl, I love being here chatting it up with you guys too. And it's been great that we've been able to be this consistent throughout the year, doing these every week. And yeah, it's been good I'm glad that you guys are having fun, and I know that you like to engage with everyone else in the community, and because it really, I polled some guys, and I polled people earlier this year, and I found that many of you don't have others in your life close to you that are into credit cards, so you can't really bounce these ideas off of other people. This is an interest that not many people have, so it's good to have others that you can kind of share these thoughts with. DJ Bruce Wayne said, Cal, if you get the Apple Card, then I will get one too. So listen, that means you're not getting one, right? That means you're never gonna have one, because I'm not getting one. Johnny Jimenez says, listen, this is what I'm talking about. Johnny Jimenez says, come on, Cal, join Team iOS. Yeah, man. Listen, I got to tell you, man, this issue permeates like all of society, because I was just telling my wife that I feel like as an Android user, I'm always getting kind of made fun of and ridiculed, like just kind of in places that you never expected. I was just watching a comedy special, and in a story about a completely different topic, he brought up how Android phones can't take good pictures and how we're green bubbles and things like that. Always the slight. We always get it. Yeah, Danny, wifey does have an iPhone. Always had an iPhone, yes. That iPhone could break. The screen could crack. It could like it could crash every day. She would still use the iPhone. It don't matter. iPhone users are loyal like that. Cal said, you need the new dynamic island in your life. Look, Apple is so funny with how they name things. They are so funny with that. I think we need, listen, in the spirit, but real. If you want me to be real with you guys, I do like the idea of having competition. I think we need healthy competition between large companies and even more people in the market. You know, it's a shame that LG left the market. I want more phone makers. I want that to happen. I don't want to just rely on one ecosystem, because guess what? Innovation is going to be stifled. They're not going to feel the pressure from other people nipping at their heels, trying to, grab customers. The prices are going to go up. They're going to offer less features for more money. And it's just not going to be as exciting. So from a philosophical standpoint, I like competition. All right, so Our Fantastic Life, what's up? You said last week I asked if I should get the autograph card or the Discover It card, but I ended up getting both. And I used your link on your website, so thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I mean, listen, I definitely didn't expect that. I appreciate that, man. Listen. What I got? Oh!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Sound effects over here, but I appreciate that. So Jorge, you said Apple Pay versus Google Pay. Which platform's better? Yeah, they're just competing. I'm not sure which would be better. Probably Apple Pay. I mean, it might, just because Apple tends to polish, software more than Google does at this point. So one more thing I want to let you guys know about, and this is the Navy Federal Credit Union flagship card is offering, again, a higher bonus reward. You're going to earn 40,000 bonus points and enjoy a year of free Amazon Prime. So that's equivalent to $400, and the Amazon Prime membership for a year is $130 value. And so if you're interested in that flagship card, I think this is the best intro bonus they've offered this year. So just be aware of that. Danny said he's getting the flagship card. Danny, I know, man. I know you're itching to get your hands on it. You should apply. All right, guys, listen, thank you for hanging out with me this weekend. I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. So you can catch me next Sunday, 7 p.m. sharp. We're going to be online. We're going to be talking about credit card news. You're going to be able to engage with all the people in the community who have a absolute ton of experience using credit cards, even more than me. And you can kind of bounce ideas off of them and tell us about, all your kind of your weekly successes that you've had. So let's meet back next Sunday at 7 p.m. I want you guys to have a great evening.